managing your money effectively, it is something you definitely should learn more about. Financial literacy is having the knowledge and understanding to financial principles to manage money in a wise and effective manner. So there are two essential parts to financial literacy, which is knowing how to manage money and actually doing it. You see, anybody can learn the principles of money management, but to become truly financial literate, you need to take it up one step further and implement good financial principles in your own. The Economic and Financial Literacy Act. The Philippine government recognizes the role of financial literacy in honing individuals and its contribution in the betterment of the society. In line with this is the passing of the Republic Act No. 10922, also known as the Economic and Financial Literacy Act. This is an act declaring the second week of November of every year as Economic and Financial Literacy Week. Under the Economic and Financial Literacy Act, Section 2, the Declaration of Policy. It is declared the policy of the state to develop national consciousness on economic and financial literacy by declaring the second week of November of every year as Economic and Financial Literacy Week. The state recognizes the growth potential of the country through a financially literate people who make sound financial decisions, mobilize savings, and contribute ideas on improving economic and financial policies and programs. Section 3. Participating government agencies under Economic and Financial Literacy Act. To ensure meaningful observance of the Economic and Financial Literacy Week, as herein declared, the National Economic and Development Authority shall lead the participation of government agencies and instrumentalities during the Economic and Financial Literacy Week. Section 4. Economic and Financial Literacy of the Students and the Youth. To improve the economic and financial literacy of students and the youth, all public and private elementary and secondary schools under the DepEd, the state and private colleges and universities under the CHED, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or the TESDA, and the NYC in coordination with the NEDA are hereby mandated to conduct consciousness-raising and knowledge-expanding activities on economic and financial literacy, including the setting up of literature commerce, organizing fora, trainings, and conducting basic economic and financial management classes. Section 5. Communication Arm. The Philippine Information Agency and the Presidential Communications Development and Strategic Planning Office are hereby mandated to allot airtime for programs and produce and disseminate printed and online materials for economic and financial literacy awareness and enhancement. Section 6. Private Sector Participation. In coordination with the Philippine Economic Society and in partnership with other academic and professional institutions, shall lead and encourage the participation of the private sector and civil society during the Economic and Financial Literacy Week. Section 7. Separability Clause. If any provision or part hereof is held invalid or unconstitutional, the remainder of the law or the provision not otherwise affected shall remain valid and subsisting. Section 8. Repealing Clause. All laws, decrees, orders, rules, and regulations or part thereof inconsistent with this act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. Section 9. Effectivity. This act shall take effect 15 days after its publication in the Official Gazette or in a newspapers of general circulation. Here are some of the most important benefits of being financially literate. First is less debt. One of the quickest ways to start struggling with money is to take on debt. Therefore, by equipping yourself with sound financial skills, you are more likely to avoid the financial hardship that so often accompanies debt. Second is higher net worth. Every personal decision can be boiled to a single outcome. It will either increase or decrease your net worth. So, gaining a better understanding of how money works, will help you to make better choices in your finances and therefore increase your net worth. Number 3, less financial struggle. Most people know what it is like to struggle with money, but very few understand what it is like to succeed. So, the more you improve your financial skill set, the better your household financial situation will become. Lastly, number 4, better with household finances. So, paying your bills on time and managing your household expenses responsibly is a side effect of good financial know-how. Common concepts under financial literacy. First is investment platform. Investment platform is a vital online services which allows you to buy, sell, and hold funds. Famous investment platforms in the Philippines includes First Metro Securities, COL Financial, CoinsPro, and Seedbox.ph. Next is funds. Funds refers to a particular amount of money made available or allocated for particular purpose. Finances. The monetary resources of individual, organization, company, or government. Debit card. It is a rectangular plastic card used in paying purchase. The debit card is used by swiping the card to the merchant's card reader and entering a PIN or the personal identification number. This allows the direct transfer of money amounting to the purchase's price from the owner's checking account to another bank account. Next is credit card. Is a rectangular plastic card which allows users to access credit facilities or allows owners to avail products on a basis of credit. Next is stock. A stock is type of security that signifies ownership in a corporation and represents a claim on part of the corporation's assets and earnings. Inflation is the substantial increase of price and goods and services resulting to the decrease of the purchasing power of money. Deflation, also termed as the negative inflation, is the great decrease of price of basic commodities. Purchasing power refers to the value of money on the basis of the amount of goods and services that you can using a unit of currency. Annual percentage rate is the interest rate in an annual basis charged for borrowing money. Annual percentage yield is the interest rate in an annual basis paid on a savings account, certificate of deposit, or other account that earns compound interest. Budget is an estimate of your income and expenditure for a specific period of time. For example, 1 month. This is the basis for planning your finances. Next is the capital gains. Capital gain is when the value of an asset increases more than the original purchase price. Capital gains are not realized until the asset is sold. Checking account, it refers to a form of bank account which allows the owner to have an easy access to his money. Access to money is possible through ATM withdrawal, issuance of check, or through debit cards. Credit score is a ranking or a number assigned to an individual which reflects his or her credit worthiness. Savings account is a deposit account which bears interest where you can store your money in a bank or other financial institutions. Savings account lets the consumer have an easy access of his or her money. Lastly, interest rate. An interest rate is the percentage of a loan charged to an individual for borrowing the money. In an interest-bearing savings account, an interest rate is portion of the savings paid by the bank or other financial institutions as an incentive for maintaining an account. Financial literacy in the Philippines.
The following is a list of events which manifest the current standing of the country in financial literacy. According to the World Bank Study 2014, an estimated 20 million Filipinos saved money but only half had bank accounts. The country is lacking of a national strategy in educating Filipinos towards financial education and literacy, a result conducted by the Asian Development Bank in 2018. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas released the National Strategy for Financial Inclusion, stating that while institutions strive to broaden financial services, financial literacy should complement such initiatives. According to the Standard & Poor's Rating Services Survey 2018, only 25% of Filipinos are financially literate. This shows a large percentage not properly educated about financial concepts such as inflation and diversification. Only 1% of the total population of Philippines have invested to stock market, even if it has been existing for 10 years now. More than 80% of the working Filipinos belonging in the middle class have no formal financial plan.
Part of financial literacy is being able to distinguish between financial needs and wants and how to budget accordingly for each. Needs are things that you need to live and include the following: housing, transport, insurance, utilities, and food. Wants are things you want to have but don't need. This includes travel, entertainment, designer clothing, gym membership, and coffee house drinks. Experts recommend the households divide their income in a 50-30-20% split, dedicating 50% of the income to things they need, 30% to things they want, and 20% to savings. Your net worth is made up of two parts, but what are those? An asset is anything you own outright that can provide future monetary value. Some good examples of financial assets are the money in your bank account, any you have invested in the stock market, and real estate you own outright. In its basic form, you can think of an asset like this. If you were to sell it, the asset is worth the amount of money you would get to keep. Liability is anything of monetary value that you owe to somebody else, whether that be a bank, organization, or individual. Example of liabilities in personal finance are mortgage, car loans, student loan, personal loan, or credit card debt. If you owe money to anybody else, the amount of owe is liability. Important note, a liability does not have to carry interest. If you paid for something with a loan or a credit card offered 0% interest, it is still a liability.